This is the street where my grandparents lived. My grandfather walked to the academy every day, so I was told, and grandmother was able to go to Peter and Paul's chapel from there. This is the gate, typical of St. Petersburg. As you enter there, there are apartments all around the circle, and a plaza where I suppose they brought in horses because there weren't any cars in those days, and hooked them and whatever, turned them around. This is where we lived on the right, on the third floor. The whole floor was ours because the grandma had 10 children, plus the nurses, plus the servants. So I would guess on the very right is a window where I remember Ernest throwing a cup down as my father was leaving to go to work through the gate, and mother got very cross because it was her best cup, and he of course was punished in due time. Yes, very badly in need of repairs and adjustments, but those apartments are very comfortable and very expensive as well. People buy them and renovate them. Now there's cars everywhere. I don't remember any cars in my days, not one. We went to visit Lebedev Academy, and this is a memorial to the doctors who fought and died during the war, in the center of the square, and in memory of everybody that sacrificed their lives at those times. That's Lebedev, a very important surgeon nowadays. I wanted to find the register of the surgeons and doctors, and I asked if that is possible. I was told it is, but it's not on the computers. They do have some people working on them, but you probably have to put an application in and then wait time. We went to visit Smolensk cemetery where my grandfather was buried, but we couldn't get the grave. We looked because during the war people were buried without any identifications, and now they know approximately the area, but there is no markings at all. I'm going to have a walk here, dear, and look for a nice resting place for mother in privacy. There's not a lot of people around. I can empty the ashes under any tree, and she'll be very happy. The graves have to be maintained in Russia, and if they're not maintained, they just overgrow. But we were going to find this approximate area where he was buried and put Nana's ashes there as well, so they could rest together. This is a rainy day, and the rain will wash her bodily remains into the soil, and this is about what they're talking about, how overgrown it is at the moment, almost impossible to find. I put some flowers at the saint to and said a prayer for her soul, which is what is expected of us in Orthodox religion. It was a rainy day, which suits the occasion. The service in the church was beautiful. That's her ashes then. She would like that. We went in a taxi to Gatchina. We hoped to have a four-wheel drive, but it wasn't. So, as much as we could get there, you know, we really couldn't get all the way because the roads they were terribly bad, we were told. So anyway, we allowed ourselves a day to do some research there. Gatchina is about 30-40 kilometers from St. Petersburg. There's a lot of those called Khrushchevkas built by Khrushchev's horrible apartments. The one on the left is a new one, but they are all falling down, and that's where old people live now. At the beginning of German war, the German army were moving towards St. Petersburg. At Gatchina, one of the defense lines was formed. The mother was conscripted and set her first aid center inside a haystack. The ambulance that she arrived in, with Red Cross draped on the top of it, was blown up within an hour. She kept on working in a haystack day and the next night, and in the morning she could see the German tanks and artillery miles and miles of them passing over the next hill. Her two attendants made a run for the woods as they did not wish to be captured by the German army. Mother took her black bag and walked back home more than 20 kilometers away through forests, marshes and etc. When she arrived in our village, the Germans were already there. We met Nikolai Vasilievich, a reporter from Spectra. That's their office at the back of a building. A very polite young man of about 57. So we then thought we would meet the editor and the rest of the staff of the establishment. That's a typical entrance hall. The attitude of people are lovely and warm and welcoming and very interested in what we're doing, how we got here, why we're here. So anyway, they decided to interview me for a little article that they are going to assemble in due time. I don't know how long it will take them, but they gave us a calendar as a memo of Gatchina. Yes, very busy. Потому что он был немножко далеко и был в лесу. И там было очень много таких охваток, знаете. We are now talking to the editor and the journalist. They will print an article in a local paper to see if anyone has any memories of the time that my mother was employed there, and will respond to the request of come forward and let us know if at all they remember me, Dr. Mittenberg. Up there it's not like that at all. We are not, we're not used to this kind of situation where you arrive a long way from home and there is no instructions how to get to certain places. We arrived at the municipal town hall there to see if we can get some information as to where the old Siverskaya was and how to get there. The lady that I was going to see was not in that day, so that was not of any help to us. The people there tried to help us by giving me the local phone numbers to talk to several people, but all these people live about 30 kilometers out of Siverskaya, and they don't know the local streets or the local area. There is no maps or street directories. They tried terribly hard to tell me where to go, but there was no knowledge where the old Siverskaya was. We went on and on and on, and most of the houses that are there now weren't there before. They're all built since I left, and the area looks quite different. Now and then you see an old home like this that probably was there before. And next to it would be a modern, very much up-to-date house. But the old houses are still visible and still there. This is a Khrushchevka built where all the pensioners live. We spoke to an old man of 90 there to see if he could help us, but he couldn't.
Я знаю, где Василий Михайлович жил. Он был хорошим мой приятель по партии, по коммунистической. Он директором совхоза работал в Старосеверске.
А где он?
Он давно уже помер.
Ой, не дай бог, такое дело.
Конечно.
As we drove on, we could still see the houses that would have been there when I was a child. This is probably of the era, but that is what I remember. The old, very old wooden with very sort of greyish kind of timber. But they do repair them and re-establish them, but this one isn't. I think it's abandoned, or maybe it will be. This is as close as we got to the river, and as close as we got to the parent of my grandparents' house. Everything is being demolished, including the hospital, wooden one that Nana worked in. And our house and everything is gone. New buildings have stood up. This is a house that is close to where we live and looks very much like Gribanova dacha, and our house a little bit smaller than that, but two-story as well. We are on the river, but we are about 1 or 2 kilometers inland, and I think in that direction and then inland. But this is as far as we can go, because the roads and whatever, the houses have been built over the roads, because the village was houses very tiny and the road very narrow, so they took the houses down, and where the road is, it wasn't convenient enough, so they shifted the road half a kilometer up or down to suit the housing estates, so you can't even find the roads any longer. But the road is close to the river, where originally it was a lot more inland, because this was all fields with the cows, and the cow herd took the cows to graze.